Hello, ladies. I am going to be talking to you today about perimenopause, the opportunity. I'm sure that opportunity is not the word that springs to mind when you think about the hormonal shifts, because there are stories that your mom has told you, that you've heard from other people, that things go downhill after the age of 40, that you're going to get fat, angry, hot, and that's how things are going to be. So I want to flip that completely on its head and tell you that perimenopause is an incredible opportunity for transformation and also a phase of life that can actually set us up for the rest of our lives in terms of our health outcomes. So let's just switch the mindset and really focus on that for a moment. So yes, our hormones are going to change, but we can work with our bodies to be able to support ourselves, to buffer the shifts in our hormones. And there are also supplements and hormones that we can then utilize to be able to support ourselves. But the starting point is our mindset. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So if you think it's going to be a gong show, or you think it's going to be amazing and a wonderful transformational journey, it will be either one of those things. So as I start off on this talk today, I would like you to really think about it as a period of transformation and something positive that we're going to go through to be able to set ourselves up for the rest of our lives. We live for many years these days. So it is really important to think about health span, not just lifespan. And that is the number of years that you will remain healthy in your life. So how exactly do we do this? Because if we've been programmed to think that things are going to go downhill for us post 40, then what do we actually do to be able to shift the narrative and actually make the positive shift a reality for us? So it all starts with lifestyle. So with our lifestyle, we need to change what we've been doing. So we can't do what we've always done. We have to adjust things for our changing hormones. And I like to think about that in the context of nutrition, and then movement, and then stress management. So nutrition is all about supporting our muscles, supporting our gut, supporting our liver, and giving our bodies all of the nutrients that it needs to thrive. So if we think about principles and key things that you can take and start doing today is, number one, prioritize your protein. Protein at every meal, at least 30 grams. Number two, eat the rainbows. We want to eat a variety of fruits and vegetables so that we get lots of different polyphenols, nutrients, high nutrient value of food. We want to eat from the ground, not from a box. And we also want to think about the quality and the amount of carbohydrates that we're eating. We can't live on highly processed carbohydrates and having strictly carb heavy meals. We really need to focus on good quality protein, good quality fats, and suitable amounts of good quality carbohydrates for the amount of exercise that we're doing. We become more insulin resistant as we age, so we aren't able to utilize glucose as well as we used to. So we really need to be thoughtful around our consumption of carbohydrates. They're not the devil, but we really need to think about our relationship with them. So that's the nutrition side of things. And then for movement, we can't overdo things. It's really, the multiple HIIT sessions in a week and countless kilometers of running is not going to serve us. It's just going to add stress to our body. So for the movement side of things, we really need to be prioritizing our strength training and giving ourselves enough time for recovery so that our muscles can grow. And we also can do a level of HIIT training, but they need to be very short in duration, and also not doing too much, because that can increase our cortisol levels. And we need to set aside time for recovery, as I've mentioned. So recovery doesn't have to be sitting on the couch. It can be going for a walk in nature. It can be a gentle yoga class. So these are all things that we need to think about when we're thinking about our exercise routine. So I like to call or refer to your exercise routine in perimenopause and menopause the Goldilocks routine, because it's not too little and it's not too much. It's finding the sweet spot for you, because our levels of inflammation are going up as our hormones shift. So we need to adjust our training sessions for that. But the important thing is to create a stimulus strong enough to make our muscles grow, and so that we can develop or keep our muscles, as well as strengthen our bones as we age, which is really important, because we do become more likely to have osteoporosis as we age. And then the final pillar is stress management. So this is physical stress, things like toxins, gut issues, sleep disruptions, as well as any mental and emotional stress. So these are obviously dealt with quite differently, but each of them adds stress to our stress bucket and can increase cortisol in our system, something that we don't want in perimenopause or menopause, because we're not as able to buffer stress because of our hormonal shifts. So we're really wanting to be prioritizing sleep through nourishing bedtime routines. Supplementation of magnesium is super helpful. Really treat yourself like a baby. You really want to create a sacred routine for yourself, and having a good, beautiful sleep environment too. And then gut issues, if you've noticed that you have bloating or irregular bowel movements, pain, anything like that, it's important to look into that so that you can resolve gut issues, because that's really important for hormone health, brain health, overall levels of inflammation, and that you can work with a functional medicine practitioner on. And then toxins, we really want to reduce our toxic load. So out with the toxic products, in with the natural products, from a personal care perspective, from a cleaning product perspective. And then also supporting our detox organs is really, really important. So dry brushing, liver detoxes, cleanses, intestinal cleanses, because the detox organs that we have get overwhelmed with the toxic sludge of a world that we live in. So we really need to support ourselves through these various practices. And then the final element of stress management is mental and emotional stress. So this just gets thrown at us left, right, and center, from being stuck in traffic, being late for something, unpaid bills, financial pressure, arguments with somebody. Like, we just have mental and emotional stress that happens every single day, probably on the hour. So the way that we can support ourselves is to have calming daily routines that calm our nervous system and support us to become more resilient, which allows us to buffer the stress when it comes in. So I like to think about routines in the context of a morning routine. And that is all about setting you up for the day. So what are your intentions? What are you grateful for? Maybe some time in nature, some morning light, some gentle movement to get into your body. These are all things that can support you to start off your day right. And then through the day, I encourage you to think about your transition. So going from maybe being mom into work mode, and then into mom mode, and then into house mode, all of these different things. It's about taking some time between each of these transitions to step into your role. So maybe it's about taking 5 breaths. Maybe it's about meditation or going for a quick walk from going between work to mom mode. But you can utilize the same techniques that you use in the morning routine to reset your nervous system or to set you up for the next transition into a role that you're stepping into in your day. And then finally, the evening routine, which is all about closing off your day, gratitude, meditation, journaling. What went well? What didn't go so well? What did you learn? What are you grateful for once again? So I keep hammering on the gratitude because it's so important for us to focus on what we do have, because that's how we bring in more of the things that we are grateful for. So those are my pillars of well-being. And these are the things that you can start to focus on so that you can then lean into the opportunity that perimenopause provides. It's all around prioritizing your health so that you can really listen to your body and make changes as your hormones shift, and making it the incredible shift that it is. And if you're looking for help in terms of how to do this and how to approach your lifestyle, then I am here to help you. And I run group coaching, one-on-one coaching, and I'm very happy to support you in any way that I can.